New clues to the purpose of the new structure at Massey's, and at Sanchez, the SQD extension is ready to roll out to Pad 2. Work commences on the third level of columns for the new gigabay at the build site, and further progress of the clamp arm door installation at the launch site. Welcome to the first RGV aerial photography Starbase Flyover update of 2026. We hope you all enjoyed our coverage throughout last year and are now looking forward to yet another year of exciting developments in the SpaceX Starship program. We'll witness the new year with new ship, booster and Raptor versions, as well as a brand new launch system redesigned from the ground up. This week's flyover took place on January the 3rd after a 2-week break, and once again has produced high quality images to keep us all up to date. I'm Jeff A, and you are welcome to join me on a tour of all the changes across the different sites that are Starbase, Texas. As usual, we'll start at the Massey's test facility. Before we get started with Massey's, a quick shout out to Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. He's hosting the Astro Awards in Austin, Texas on January 17th and 18th. He's got a whole host of special guests in the space community to do talks, plus social activities and exhibitions. Show him some support and consider attending the Astro Awards. The link is in the description, or simply click on this link. Now back to Starbase, and here is the labelled map of the site to help you find your way around. Beginning at the mystery structure, both frames appear to be full height minus the platform that will sit on top of the structure. If we take a closer look at the structure, it has gained electrical, plumbing and an accumulator, as well as the floor panels being changed out. While we don't know the intended purpose for the structure, a potential new clue is sitting next to the GSE bunker. This is the hardware used to squeeze Test Tank 16 in the past. This ground image of that test was captured by Sean Giesler. Be sure to give him a follow on X. What appear to be the 8 bumper pads for these arms can be seen staged near the entrance. Be sure to stay tuned for further updates on this structure. The terraced fill continues to the side of the fluids bunker in preparation for the sloped concrete roof. At the booster cryo stand, electrical panels have been reinstalled after the booster 18 anomaly damaged the stand. Moving to the LOX farm, an additional pump has been installed, with space for 2 more to be installed once they arrive on site. At the structural test area, the B-18.3 test tank has received a ship aft skirt on top of its truss structure, as well as new rams being installed into the mounts around the base. Next to the stand, a new ring plate has arrived with 10 holes which are approximately the size of the ring of 10 engines on a booster. We'll keep an eye out on this for future test structures. Finally, the old ship transport stand has been stripped of its hold-down clamps. Since it hasn't been cut up for scrap, it appears to have new life for a future purpose. Now let's move on to Sanchez, shall we? Here's a labelled map of Sanchez. Pause if you need extra time. Starting with the stand construction area, work on the first booster transport stand seems to have stopped. Work continues on the second ship transport stand, with all its base sections now welded together. 6 more sections are now staged for the third stand. The last 2 were spotted arriving on the 5th of January. Looking at the base of both the ship and booster transport stands, new mounting plates can be seen, hinting at a new interface that will be common for attaching both types of stands to the SPMTs. The 2 remaining X-braces were moved to Massey's on January 4th. The SQD extension arm has seen good progress with the work platforms installed. This will allow the crew to perform checks and maintenance tasks on the SQD plate, umbilicals and different sensors. The SQD extension arm ended up rolling out early on the morning of January 6th. Next to the extension, the pallets of clamp alignment spheres have been staged since the last flyover. Just to the side, only one of the short chopstick bumper extension remains. More on these once we get to the launch site. Switching to the scrapyard, what might be a bridge access is staged for possible scrapping after leaving Star Factory on the 2nd. Structural work has been performed on the ship cryo stand in preparation of Ship 39 cryo testing. Looking into the second ship static fire stand, the main ring is being welded together. 3 legs and 2 horizontal bars are staged aside for installation. Finishing with the rocket garden, crews removed the landing tank of booster 18. It's unclear if they will continue removing parts in the rocket garden. Just before moving to the build site, we'd like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all the patrons get to participate in our show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with a live chat function. Beginning at the gigabay, we can see all 4 cranes have climbed to their new height, and work is well underway on the 3rd level of the building. An interesting observation is that they temporarily tied the tower cranes into the building to prevent them from swaying and twisting. The top half of the third column now includes additional diagonal cross braces. This may be related to the tabs now attached to these columns that extend into the aisle. It's unclear if this is a temporary bridge structure across the aisle or a short cantilevered structure to support work access platforms. To the side of Megabay 1, the LOX landing tank install stand has been staged instead of going back into the factory. At Megabay 2, a scaffold tower has been erected around Ship 39. The purpose of this tower is unknown at the moment. It's speculated to be related to work on the thermal protection system. The lack of walkboards and subsequent work on the lower shield suggests the area of concern may be at the nose cone, similar to inspections recently seen on S40's nose cone through the factory windows. Next to the Star Factory, a new aft flap has appeared with smaller tiles on the trailing edge of the flap. This is now matching the forward flaps. 2 forward flaps are staged here, still wrapped from transport. Taking a quick look at the apartment parking building, the glass on one of the corners has been completed, as well as work on the facade that's almost complete on this wall. That's it for the build site. Let's fly over to the launch site. Here's a labelled map for this week's images. Pause the video if you need more time to look it over. Starting at Pad 2, a new trench has been dug for the support bunker. Concrete pipes are staged for a suspected drain for the inside of the bunker. Alternately, it's suspiciously lined up with the methane vent, possibly allowing the concrete pipe to be a casing for a smaller vent pipe to pass through. At the end of the sloped wall, new steel panels and blast doors are staged. Ground images show a door is being added here, as previously speculated. Moving to the launch mount, 2 additional clamp doors are installed. At the time of writing, 9 doors have been installed. Looking closely, the linkages between the clamp arm and the underside of the launch mount are visible, waiting for the remaining doors to be installed. Looking up the tower, the electrical conduit for the SQD arm are being interfaced to the tower. Just below, the top cryo pipe appears finished, with tarps still protecting the lower pipe while final pipe welds are performed. On January 6th, the SQD arm extension was transported in the early morning hours and would later be installed, thanks to Vix for putting together this clip from Lab Padre's Nerdlecam. Around the tower, a new vent was being installed during the flyover. This should be the chilled down vent seen on Tower 1, however, the new one has a triple split. On the chopsticks, all 4 added supports at the tip of the sticks are complete. Along the flame trench, additional pipe sections remain staged. They may be for the Tower 1 sticks, or possibly some other location not noticed yet on this set of sticks. Nearby, the 2 bumper sections are staged for installation. These will be installed over the 4th and 5th of January, just below the return pushers. Progress is being made at the D1 entrance. The footer has been poured for the continuation of the perimeter wall that stops just before Highway 4. Moving to the Deluge tank farm, the commodities trench is finally being sealed with a new metal strip being welded over the edges of the cover panels. Nearby, the pipe assemblies seen in the previous flyover near the GSE building have been staged. These may be for the further completion of the isolation and purge area. At the pump farm, the final methane pump and motor have been installed. The electrical conduit hasn't been connected yet, so it still needs final integration. Further along the tank farm, the final 2 vaporizers for methane tanks have been installed. 3 vaporizers for the LOX tanks are still pending arrival. The BG-39 drill rig has been moved into the tank farm area ahead of CFA pile installation. The space appears to have room for the 3 cryo tanks at the port connector road lot. However, the locations of a second row of pedestal foundations is still unclear. At Pad 1, removal of the pile cap appears to be complete. Below the chopsticks, much of the remaining concrete is being sorted for rebar and the larger chunks are being separated with the sifting bucket on the excavator. Just above, the cryo pipes removed from the 2 commodities trenches are staged for scrapping. Where the launch mount once stood, a new excavator has arrived as well as a vibratory hammer for removal of the sheet pile installed during construction to keep water out of the excavation. At the Pad 1 Deluge farm, the 4 small water tanks were still in place during the flyover. 2 of them would be removed on the 5th of January. Staged nearby are rebar cages and additional rebar for the tank farm piles. At the air separation unit site, the concrete pad is now complete as reported in the previous episode. Connections between the compressor and the heat exchangers have begun, though progress appears to be slow currently. Finally, at the Starhopper lot, a new electrical bunker has been staged. It arrived a day after a transport delay was unused, indicating this is for the air separation unit. However, its final position within the site is still uncertain. Well, that's it for episode 112 of Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGV aerial photography, and we hope you all enjoyed the flight. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe for more episodes and content so you don't miss out on the new videos each week, and leave a thumbs up. To receive the latest images and to join in the conversations on the day they are taken, please consider joining RGV's Patreon. I'm Jeff A, and we'll see you next week from 6,000 feet.